Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest for me right now. Now, the first market I want to take a look at today is the Mini Dow Future. This is the YM contract. Now, last week we were looking at a couple of levels here in the markets. We were looking around sort of 17,400 for potential support. There was also another level in here on the 4-hour chart around sort of 17,550 and 17,750. Now, interestingly, the market's actually sort of played out between those levels pretty precisely, but at the moment it's just sort of sitting at that place right at the moment. If we come and take a quick look at the 4-hour chart here, we can see literally what sort of happened over the intraday action. We can see 17,550 market sort of held this area. It's also retested 17,450 and we're sitting right at this level now. So interestingly that the market's respecting these levels. The question is what now for this market, and of course we've got from where we are at the moment, sitting at one of these key levels, we've got the two levels underneath, and we've also got 17,900 and 18,000 as the big number above it. So what I'm doing is I'm coming back to the daily charts and starting to look here across all of the indices. So we've got on the Mini Dow Future, we can see it's a little bit indecisive here. We've got two tests up here of 18,000. The market has made a technical lower low here, but it's in all other ways it still looks bullish to me. Certainly here on the weekly chart, still looking extremely bullish, and same on the monthly. If we come and take a look at the S&Ps at the moment, so this is the mini S&P future. This is showing a slightly different story. So here on the daily chart, the market's made a new higher high. It's broken through the 2100 level up here. It's then put in a higher low, and again we're now sort of in that sort of area, midway or mid swing between the two. But technically here on the daily chart, the market is in an uptrend. Now it's a little bit different when we come and take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is a little bit more bearish out of the three. So the market's made a new high here, it's now made a new lower high. So market's actually starting to form not in a sort of a no trend area, no trend state, I would say. Certainly when you come and take a look at the weekly chart here, we've got lower highs and we've got higher lows. So between the three of them, we've got the three major US index markets, we've got a sort of slightly different story. So what's my plan for the Mini Dow Future? What I'm looking for here really is I'm not looking for new sort of swing positions. We've got a lot of news coming out over the next few days with the UK vote on the EU referendum, which could create quite a bit of volatility in a lot of markets, and it may have some sort of impact bleeding through into some unrelated markets as well. And plus also the indecision here across the US indices. What I'm more looking for is intraday opportunities. So what I'll be doing is looking for intraday opportunities, trading between these big key levels that we can see here: 17,200, 17,400, 17,550, 17,750, 17,900, and of course 18 above that. So we've got some real key levels at the moment where we can start to look for those opportunities, and even starting to come down to some of these lower time frames like the hourly chart, where we can start to see, even if I start to mark in around 17, if I sort of start marking 17,750 just around this area, we can see that we've got that sort of consolidation. We've also got a bit of a level sort of forming just above that with these pivot points. So again, opportunities intraday is what I'm looking for on the Mini Dow Future. Now, if we come and take a look at gold, what we were looking at sort of last week was looking for bullish action higher, but there was but also looking for potential sort of pullback. So looking for a potential pullback first, and then for a continuation of the trend higher. In fact, we got it the other way round, and we got some a big spike here last week, which pushed the market back up to 13,000, in fact just above 13,000, and now we're getting the pullback to the levels that we were looking at last week. So again, I'm still looking at gold here as bullish. I see no signs of weak momentum coming in here on these higher time frames. And if we come down to the 4-hour chart, we can start to see that we've got some structure levels here in the market that we identified last week. So we looked at 1280, 1270 and 1260. Markets just sort of coming back into those areas. So my plan is, if 1260, if these sort of areas can hold and the market rebounds off these, I'm looking for higher prices and looking for the market to be bullish up beyond 1320. If 1260 gets taken out, then I think, you know, we've got pretty much sort of nothing in the way down for a reasonable move down here towards the sort of lows down here towards sort of 1220, 1210, and I'll be certainly looking for intraday opportunities to the short side. Let's take a look at the Japanese yen. Now, Japanese yen, last week what we were looking at is this lovely bullish price action on the daily and weekly charts, looking for, if we open up the weekly, looking for the market to continue up towards these market structure levels that we had identified around 96,000 and just around that sort of 97 800-ish up here as well. Market has continued higher, so we've got the trend structure did continue higher. We're sitting right at 96 now, so what's the question now? If we take a look at the previous highs here on the weekly, we can see that there's just a little bit of divergence started to come in. That will also, with the market being a little bit stretched from the averages here, might sort of expect a bit of a pullback before a continuation, or there's enough momentum to break through 96 decisively. Certainly here on the daily chart, things are looking rather bullish, but when we start to come down to the 4-hour chart, and let me just sort of mark in that sort of 96 sort of area, which is just about here, you can see that we've had the sort of market test these highs a couple of times. We've had sideways consolidation. It's still sitting around this level, and in fact technically we've got a slightly lower high, we've got a slightly lower low here, but we've certainly got some clear divergence here on the indicators too. So just supporting the possibility here of a bit of a consolidation, building up momentum before we get a new move higher. So still bullish here on the yen, but I'm looking for more sideways action before we get a breakout to the long side. So those are the main markets that I'm keeping a close eye on over the next week, and that's the sort of opportunities that I'm looking for. Let me just tell you about the special events that we've got running here at TradeStation over the next week. If you come across to the TradeStation International website, so that's tradestation-international.com, come over here to the webinars tab. You can see under client webinars, if you have an account with TradeStation, we're actually running a traders program here. This is a Traders Edge education program where we're teaching our trading techniques and our trading strategies through this program. So we have another session next week. This is the masterclass here, which is the trading strategy session. So that's on the 28th of June. You're welcome to join if you have a trading account. If you don't have a trading account, then please speak to TradeStation. They'll be able to help you out and give you the links to join. So hope you found it useful, and certainly look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.